Thursday night undress from Conroy's Emporium, where you can get anything your heart desires. Have you washed your hands, Conroy? Very tasty. My name is Jeremy Taylor, and welcome to the talk show that pretends to care, and where we ask customers to join our team. On our regular panel tonight are Borigami, Lewis Orlando, and the Legiariadrus, Kathleen Taylor, and of course, our Bulgarianus, the Bulgarianus himself, Ivo Ivanov. I've been asked, why undressed? It's an unmetaphor for unabashedly, unabbreviated, unacceptable, unaccommodating, unadulterated, untransliabilities, unpunctured, untrustworthy, unwholesome, unutterably unverifiable,
underprepared,
uninvitedness.
Right, that's just random stuff.
Oh, yes. Topics tonight, we thought Christmas music. Because this is being recorded in mid-June, we thought we'd talk about Christmas music. As we walk down the streets at the moment, we have that Mannheim steam tractor coming out of every orifice on every
how do
main
you listen
street.
to your music?
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Where does it all come from, this Christmas music, I ask myself? And do we actually miss Hark the Herald Angels Sing, or has it got to be that Mannheim steamrollering thing?
You love Mannheim steamroller.
So, Jeremy Taylor, what's going on? You know, when you talk about undressed, do you guys remember that there was a clothing optional bar in Lawrence? Neil remembers it. And it was the
not
weirdest.
here.
It
We
was
are
in
not
Lawrence.
going there,
It
Evo.
wasn't.
I'm sorry. We
it
are
was
not
in
doing
Lawrence
that.
It was off of 23rd Street.
Right behind McDonald's?
Right behind McDonald's, yes, that's right. And it was very strange because it was clothing optional. So that meant you're not supposed to necessarily be naked there. You can be naked or you can be clothed. So what happened was people would go there, and there inevitably would be one or two naked guys sitting and drinking their drink and smoking a cigarette on a vinyl chair where everybody else was clothed. Imagine that's a real situation. Needless to say, the place didn't last long. Very, very strange.
Oh, dear.
Christmas music, go ahead.
No. I was waiting for Jeremy to say tasty.
Oh, yeah. And it goes in with our undressed theme, you know?
He seems shocked.
Merry, merry, tasty.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hark the Herald
Evo-
Angels Sing.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing. I don't know that I've heard the Mannheim Steamroller.
Oh, you have.
Yeah, you have.
Song.
Yeah.
I really don't.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, but I'm not.
It has been for
All right.
several
Well,
years.
what about songs like the raise money songs that various famous people do from time to time?
Oh, there's actually a series called A Very Merry Christmas that basically takes the popular rock acts of today and has them do versions of even sometimes traditional, sometimes more contemporary Christmas songs, like John Bon Jovi did "Backdoor Santa," or
Beg your pardon?
Backdoor Santa.
yeah.
What are you
Your
watching on the
backdoor
internet,
Santa,
sir?
baby.
Oh, Backdoor Santa.
Yes. There's also I actually have.
We know
like,
why
the
you were
first-
thrown out of St. Louis, don't
Well,
we?
that's right. There's actually I have like maybe the first 3 sets of this series, and Backdoor Santa is always one that catches my attention. There's the Sting version of is it We Three Kings? No, on Christmas Day. There's just a ton of these songs that are, and every year they
Three
release a new
ships. We saw 3 ships.
one. Come sailing in.
So
on
is it-
Christmas
Da,
Day,
da,
on
da,
Christmas
da,
Day.
da.
Yeah.
So is it
Why
safe
are we
to say,
doing this?
Why do we do Christmas songs?
Well, no, I'm just wondering why we're doing this for our podcast, because people actually pay to listen to this. The Bulgarian's only been doing Christmas for 3 years, hasn't he? Because you
We
didn't
didn't.
do
How
you didn't do
popular
Christmas
was
in
Christmas?
Bulgaria.
We didn't celebrate Christmas because behind the Iron Curtain, the only allowed religion was communism. You know, the communist doctrine. So religion was looked upon as the opium for the masses, and it was kind of a contradictory concept with the communist doctrine. So,
But you guys weren't the masses, right?
I think the ruling, government was afraid of religion. It was not officially banned. We had churches,
Right.
but nobody was really going into the churches, and it was believed that you're being watched. And if you start going to those churches regularly, you will be summoned by a political officer. Every neighborhood had a political officer. Any company had a political officer or school, and you will be lectured about how inappropriate religion is. We did have some kind of a twisted version of Christmas. We were basically celebrating New Year. That was our Christmas. New Year was a variation on Santa Claus, which the communist government called Grandpa Frost. It was ridiculous. Dядо Mraz, they call it, or in Russian,
Grandpa Frost.
Grandpa Frost, Dядо Mraz, or in Russian, Дед Мороз. And so he was really, really, really resembling Santa Claus in every way imaginable.
Since the Iron Curtain fell and they're no longer communist, what has happened to religion in Bulgaria?
Can I interrupt that question with a preliminary question?
Yeah.
Did your parents celebrate Christmas before the Iron Curtain fell?
You know what? Again, we were not necessarily religious, so people quietly acknowledged Christmas. We called it Christmas, but most people didn't know what it meant. And we had certain traditions that probably go back to pagan times. For example, we eat sweet bread, and we eat this thing called banica on Christmas, and people light a candle and put it on their window on Christmas. So you could look around all these communist blocks, the projects that we lived in, and you can see candles everywhere. But people really didn't understand the religious connotation of this.
It's a bit like Thanksgiving for you and me, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Here in America.
It's completely foreign.
What's all that about Thanksgiving? And July the 5th, that's another thing, isn't it? Have you noticed that, July the 5th?
Was it July the 3rd
Is it?
or the 5th?
July the 3rd.
God damn it,
I'm
both
sorry.
of you.
July the 3rd, yeah.
Out of here, Conroy.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You mentioned the banitas.
Yeah.
When I was there with you 10 years ago in the middle of the
This
summer,
is Playboy?
the sweetbreads, the
Yes,
banitas.
yes.
They had them in the middle of the summer. Does that mean that they have now become a year-round thing?
Well, it's kind of a pastry, and we have it throughout the year. But at Christmas time, we have a special type where there's a lucky charm in each piece.
Like the little
hidden.
leprechaun?
No, they put like little luck.
Things to break your teeth.
No, it's paper, and so but it's wrapped in foil, so
That
you
beats
get
England, where they actually put stuff in there.
you get to it, and you open it, and it tells you what is gonna be your luck in the next year. And also, you're right that there is something you can break your teeth on. It's a little coin. If you get to the coin, that means you come upon a lot of money. But so you gotta be careful when you're eating that thing. And
So
we
do
also had
all of
Christmas
them have
trees.
coins?
No, just one piece had a coin.
Gotcha. Okay.
Christmas trees.
Well, Christmas trees, we call them New Year trees, of course. And it's very interesting. When I was very young, they were all actual trees. We didn't have artificial ones. And believe it or not, we decorated them with actual candles, which was very dangerous.
Burn down
And
somebody every year, right?
I'm amazed. No, I'm amazed. I had never heard of a fire. Maybe because we would light it only when everybody was around. We would light the candles and then put them out. But there were special holders that you clip. There were clips. You clip them on the branches, and then you put an actual candle and light the candle. And it was pretty risky. But
And just wait for the house to burn
yeah,
down?
wait for it. It's like a pyromaniac's paradise. But
I like
so-
that tradition. Let's start
So
on
now-
that. Yeah.
So now in places like Bulgaria,
yeah,
I know there aren't very many places like Bulgaria,
yeah.
but even places like Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, Poland, those sort of countries, big, ordinary, former communist bloc countries.
Yeah.
What do they do at Christmas? Has it gone completely crazy? Rather like in England, we've now taken over Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up, there was never Halloween.
Never
Didn't
Halloween.
know what it was.
We are just like you. We are doing Halloween now as well, which is really weird because we had never heard of Halloween until like 10, 15 years ago, and now everybody is celebrating Halloween. We're celebrating Christmas, but it's clothing optional Christmas. No, we do have Christmas now, and people are getting, people that have maybe always been kind of inclined towards having faith and spirituality. They're slowly moving towards religion, and we have religious communities, and churches are thriving. Christmas is very popular. People understand it. People celebrate it. Same thing with Easter. So back to normal.
But holidays really don't have that much to do with religion. I mean,
Yeah.
we're moving toward more and more holidays here.
Yeah.
Halloween is bigger than it ever used to be. I know that the next one we're going to have is going to be Zombie Day.
Yeah, the zombie walks
Gonna
are getting
have to
bigger
have a
and
zombie
bigger.
day.
Yeah,
Officially.
I always thought I was always thinking, what if an actual zombie apocalypse occurs?
Yeah.
And the entire world is overtaken by zombies, and basically our societies become dominated by
I
zombies.
believe we have a plan in place in this county.
Oh, I'm sure for zombie apocalypse preparation.
Lawrence does actually have emergency management zombie
Apocalypse.
watch, yes.
But I'm thinking, if everything is zombie, if the zombies take over, would once a year they'll have a human walk day, like where they would dress like humans,
That's
put on makeup
called
to look
Zombie
alive.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah, they
because
would.
then they have a feast.
Yeah, maybe. I was just thinking they would just walk like normal people, put makeup on, pretend to be alive.
We sacrifice all the French people.
Oh, dear.
Well, that would be the
Okay.
first step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how did we end up from talking about Christmas traditions and songs to the zombie
Well,
walk?
One
I don't-
doesn't follow the other in your book?
So
Okay.
is it safe to say that you like remakes of traditional Christmas songs better than the actual traditionals?
No,
because you had
no,
so
not
much
at all.
knowledge about
Not at all.
remakes and rock versions and
I really
rap
just
versions.
kind of like Christmas songs. For probably the last 15 or 20 years, I start playing Christmas songs sometime in the middle of October and annoy the hell out of all my family and anybody
They are very
that
very
comes to my house.
catchy tunes.
Yeah. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and so we didn't celebrate Christmas at all either.
Why not?
Because Christmas is pretty antithetical to some
Sorry.
of the things that...
Didn't know that.
And any kind of celebration, right? I
Well,
mean,
any kind of
festivities.
celebration.
What word are you using there? Anti what?
Antithetical, sort of against the thesis of...
What does anti-ethical mean?
Not anti-ethical.
It
What,
does-
can
it
you
doesn't
not hear?
start with you and he doesn't know it. That's the only words he understands.
So, No.
Anti-ethical. Oh, I got that. Yeah, all right, go on.
So, okay, I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
I
You were
hate going into this because this is literally 30 years ago
It's traumatic.
in my life. No, not traumatic at all.
Did they beat you?
I doubt
No
it.
more than most of my friends. No, the short version is Jesus didn't make a visible celebration of his birthday in the Bible, and so Jehovah's Witnesses, in their interpretation of the Bible, try to do everything that they can as close to Jesus. And since there are no recorded mentions of Jesus celebrating his own birthday, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate
That's
his
actually
birthday
quite logical.
or their own birthday. And so when you said no celebrations, at first I wanted to really kind of disagree with you. But the truth of the matter is there's pretty much only two things that witnesses celebrate.
Yeah.
And that's marriages and dedications to faith.
I thought they celebrated sex.
No, sex is one of the things that the Apostle Paul said, and I don't remember which book of the Bible, but it was basically stay away from women, men. And if you absolutely cannot stay away from women, if you cannot control your dangly parts,
Fuck their brains
go
out.
ahead and get
No.
married.
Oh, okay. So how about movies and entertainment? Was that okay?
It was not very much like you said.
Oh, my
It was not something that was strictly verboten,
Yeah.
but it was...
Why are you bringing the Germans into this? Is it
Well, don't the
Lutheranism
Germans
now?
kind of fit in any
You're bringing
conversation?
the Luthers.
If put it this way, if as a Jehovah's Witness I went and saw Friday the 13th, I would have had a severe talking to by the church elders.
Oh my goodness! How
Yeah.
about
What if you-
the religious movies?
There
could
isn't
watch.
any such thing as a Jehovah's Witness religious movie.
What about Witness with Harrison Ford? You could trick them.
I wanna
You
get
could say,
back-
"Hey, this is about."
I went and
hey,
saw The Witness. Yes.
Get back to Christmas carols.
So for me, there is
I was
a
just going to go to porn then.
there's a sense, a tradition that is pretty much non-existent in my formative years that
Yeah.
Christmas music represents. And so for me, the notion that like I can go and listen to a song from 1960 or listen to the same song from like 1812 and it's still the same song, you know, just sung by different people, that's interesting to me. That
Yeah.
holds
Visit England. They sing the same songs, but with different tunes. It's really creepy.
like all at the same time.
No, not normally.
Kat, what's your favorite Christmas song? Do you have a favorite?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
You
basically.
like
Yeah.
this one?
It's
I like-
over. It's over. Christmas is finished.
That's the
I
best
hate
altogether.
Christmas.
The only Christmas carols I like are the ones that are sung by little kids.
Like I want
'Cause
a
that's
hippopotamus for Christmas. That's a cute one.
All I want for
want a
Christmas is my two front teeth. You know, that's
Oh.
from like 500 years ago. That sort of thing
Yeah.
is because Christmas is a time for kids to get stuff.
What about
my book.
So you get stuffed. I know, it's absolutely right.
what about Lou? What is
I
yours?
hate children.
No. Don't
when
roast
you asked
any
that
more
question,
children.
I literally started just kind of going through the Rolodex to try to
Yeah.
figure out what my absolute favorite is, and I was literally stuck because I had like this Christmas song like meltdown in my head,
Yeah.
and they all started to melt together, and I couldn't pick any one. But then I remembered Lena Horne singing "Little Drummer Boy."
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh man, I could like. Normally, if you ask me what my favorite, I will say anything by Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
But then, like, I just start to hear the little triangle in this song that Lena Horne sings, "The Little Drummer Boy," and it just clears everything out of my head.
Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, to lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum.
There's something special about Christmas music, special enough that radio stations dedicate their music for a month and a half to pure Christmas.
Yeah.
And for me, I have to say, coming to America, America does Christmas, but it doesn't understand Christmas. It doesn't understand Christmas in the way that countries that don't have Thanksgiving and other
Yeah.
nebulous.
All right, our season
Things.
is long and has other things in it, so it becomes more of a give fest.
And I was hoping you might say that because we come out of Christmas, and what is the next fest?
Next one is Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day fest, right? November. Where is that?
February.
February. So Valentine's Fest. Then we
no
come out of
Valentine's
Valentine's
Fest.
Fest. What
What are you
what's
talking
what's
about?
after Valentine's Fest?
What have you been teaching him, Kat? That he thinks there's a
Easter.
fest surrounding
Right.
Valentine's
I'm
Day.
trying to keep that.
Let's
going,
decorate the house for
okay?
Easter.
I'm sorry, I
I
take
have
it
a
back.
good
There's
thing
a
going
Valentine's
here.
Day fest. Keep
No,
on
let's
going.
and then we have Valentine's Fest. Then it's let's decorate the house for Easter. We remember with
When did we
great
ever?
You have
joy.
Easter decorations
We
for your house?
remember with great
Well,
joy
the
when the
honey-
Romans
Making that up.
when the Romans crucified a number of people, right? And they hung
You
people up
gotta
there
be
who
a lot
weren't
more
dead.
specific than that.
They weren't dead. They were up on these crosses with nails banged, and we celebrate this.
We celebrated by
I mean, for
inventing a
goodness
giant bunny, and hiding
The
eggs.
guy in
Poops
a
out
big
chocolate
white
eggs.
a guy in a big white suit walks out onto a balcony in Italy, in front of hundreds of thousands of people, right? And it's all because some Roman soldiers, right? Roman soldiers nailed some guy to a cross.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not right, it isn't. And then there are various other fests after that.
Somebody stop
I'm
it,
surprised
please.
you haven't built a
Have a big
henge.
fat napkin, just shove it.
Why?
Is there a rap Christmas song?
Oh,
A
yeah.
rat.
Christmas in Hollis,
Hip
Run
hop.
DMC.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on the Die Hard soundtrack. It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens, and Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens.
You gotta find this and play it, and play it during the podcast. The
So
closest-
rat music at Christmas. Let's talk about rat music
we
at
go.
Christmas.
It was December 24th on Hollis Ave at the dark when I seen a man chilling with his dog at the park. I approached him very slowly with my heart full of fear. Looked at his dog, oh my God, a ill reindeer. But then I was ill because the man had a beard and a bag full of goodies, 12 o'clock at near. So I turned my head a second and the man was...
So I basically asked this question of the panel that we discussed this. Do you guys get that old people just dislike rap out of hand? Like, are
Don't
you
listen
aware?
to rat at all.
The reason that older people don't like rap music is because it's very hard to actually understand what's being said. So it just becomes a blare of noise.
Okay, I hear you and I understand. So what I would
Well,
say
that's more
is,
than I do
what
to rap
you,
music.
Would you say the same thing about rock music?
No, because they hear rock music and there's a huge beat. And rap is not so...
Rap is all beat. And that's
Well,
it. Now the question
is
is,
rhythm,
do you
not-
consider beat
not just a
music? Beat alone music. Because really rap is spoken word,
Uh-huh.
set to beat. I enjoy a lot of lyrics, a lot of lyricism in rap music. I listen to the lyrics. I like certain rappers because of how inventive they are with the language. They manipulate language in a brilliant way. For example, Tech Nine is brilliant.
I was really wanting to talk about Tech Nine in particular. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
He's
Sorry.
brilliant. At the same time, he's vulgar and obnoxious and disgusting. And
Anybody can do this sort
and I
of
hate
stuff.
that part of his. I don't like this part of it. But he does manipulate language and rhythm in a very interesting way.
Sounds very much like Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, no.
No.
Donald
There's
Trump
no
has
really,
rhythm.
there's no real talent to what.
So
he
is
does.
and
Donald
Trump's
Trump music-
vocabulary is 100 words. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Donald Trump music, of
None of
course,
them
is
more than one
tramp.
I would say this big orange Trumpalumpa. All he does is
Trumpaloopa.
he uses Trumpalumpa.
Yeah.
He uses literally
Oompa, oompa,
100 words. You
Trumpaloompa.
listen to his speeches, 100 words, the same posturing, the same thing. So to me, you can't compare him to a genius, verbal acrobat,
Verbal.
True,
like
but
Tech Nine.
he is nice and abusive.
Who, Tech Nine?
Both of them.
No, Trump.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if Tech Nine is abusive. I think he's very happily married, and he treats women with a lot of disrespect in his lyrics. But in real life, he's very different. I hate this part of rap music. I also hate another part.
This is driving me absolutely bonkers, though. Everybody at this table listens to rock music. Everybody at this table had parents that would have said the exact same thing about rock music in the first 20 years that rock music was alive.
Well, I think you're
True.
probably right.
Yeah.
The
We're just
difference,
old.
the
It's
difference
sad.
probably is it involves musicianship. It involves instrumentalists, people that can control their instruments to perfection. Virtuoso
I can
musicians.
control my instruments to perfection.
And we don't want to know. We don't
We
want to
do
know.
not want to talk
Jeremy,
about
this
that
is
here,
not the
Jeremy.
clothing optional
Wait, I want to talk about this.
establishment.
I love banging my drum, I do. Can't help myself. Once I'm off, I'm off.
Did you see
get
Bang
near
the
a
Drum
cymbal.
slowly?
Phew.
Never mind. Yeah.
So,
So much to say. So little time.
So let's say a person like Scroobius Pip. Scroobius Pip is a British rapper who is absolutely
Is this someone
amazing.
off Harry Potter?
Well,
does
I
sound
know
like
that
that.
name.
Or Dickens. It really sounds Dickensian.
Scroobius Pip, and I'm sure it's not his real name, but that
Let's
man,
hope.
that man is a genius, and you find him on Google. Watch some of his videos. Listen to what he has to say. That guy is a virtuoso, and does amazing things. But it is spoken word. It is spoken word that has a little bit of a layer of a beat to it, and a lot of the really great rappers. That's all it is. I love the poetry of it, but I don't know if I want to call it
look,
music.
one of my favorite musicals has always been The Music Man, right? It's old, but think of the very first song in The Music Man. It's the salesman on the train. There is no music to it. It is a rap song where they
Somebody
all,
said it's
in
the
their
first
spoken
rap song.
word, imitate the sounds of the train. But you can understand it.
There are rap songs. They're hooks. And if you listen to a standard 3-minute rock song, usually it's 2 chords. It's 2 chords. You have a chorus, which is the hook in a rap song, and you have a theme. A main
I'm sorry, you're
theme and
talking
a
about
bridge.
rap or rock right now?
Rock.
Okay.
But rap, there are some. Lose Yourself, one of the best songs of this century. I'm not sure if it was. Yeah, it was this century.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the most amazing, and I can listen to it non-stop. I listen to it in the gym all the time. I listen to it driving, and it just, every time, it gives me goosebumps. Cleaning out my closet, a lot of Eminem songs that came from a very dark place and a real place were very, very beautiful. You can probably tell me something about Drake, something like this about Drake. I know you like Drake.
I do. I didn't. Yeah, I actually spent a long time trying not to like Drake because he's 22 years old and doesn't know shit about shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the more I listen to it, and quite honestly, the person that I have this just grudging admiration for right now is Kanye. The more I'm exposed to Kanye West, the more I am convinced that the man is quite possibly the greatest rapper of the current day.
I'm not a big fan, I'm sorry.
But I want to take you back, not 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but maybe 50 years. 50 years.
When you were only 40?
Let's not say 50 years. Let's say 60 years.
Okay. Did they have music
To
back
the
then?
Beatles. Mm-hmm. And singing songs like I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Right.
Or She Loves Me, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah.
Not exactly Shakespearean poetry.
Not exactly Shakespearean.
And our parents hated them.
But
You're
the
right.
same,
And our parents
but
generated-
have
but-
the same origin as rap music.
And 20 years before that, 20 years before that, 30 years before that, 1940, we're looking at Glenn Miller. Mm-hmm. And when Glenn Miller was doing what he was doing, when he first started in the late 30s, going around the clubs, and they played clubs. They drove around in 2 station wagons playing clubs. Now,
Sort
who
of
do
like
we
the
know
Beastie
who
Boys,
played-
2 MCs and 1 DJ.
Yeah. U2, playing clubs. The Beatles, playing clubs. Your rappers, playing clubs. It's something that's been going on for a long time. And if you look at Glenn Miller, and you go back 20 years before Glenn Miller to the 20s, you're looking at people playing clubs in the 20s in Harlem and Chicago, places like that, New York.
Oh,
It's club music, isn't it?
Yeah. Charlie Parker was...
And who lives in clubs? Rats.
Oh, no, I wondered
Wow.
where you were going with that.
Wow.
You're
do you
really
think?
reaching.
Oh,
You're
Lord.
What do you think? Ain't no?
No, that's
I am amazed that you would go to such lengths to make a bad pun.
I think it's
Well,
pretty excellent.
you didn't have to go all the way there. You're at Conroy's, and there's only 1 degree of separation between Rats and the place where you're doing the podcast right now. But hey, blues music that I adore. If you listen to it,
It's rap.
it's rap. And
No.
And
Blues and rock.
Yeah.
And actually, to a large degree that you may not even be aware, country. They're
Oh, yeah,
all
of
the
course.
same goddamn thing. The
It's 3
difference
chords.
is...
No.
No.
Country
Quite literally,
music is
the difference
country
is
to
the age of the person that is making the sound.
country music is music. It's music to die by. Country.
I can guarantee you one thing, whether it's Christmas carols or rap or country music, if you're stuck in an elevator for 2 days and it keeps going on, you will be insane.
Okay, now this I can agree with you on, because what generally tends to happen is that the music that is popular is made in mass, and so everybody that makes a rap album for the year 2015 sounds like everybody else, and that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
What really makes the music interesting to me is finding the 1 or 2 or 10 artists that really stand out and have a different, unique synthesis of new and different ideas.
but very often it's not the artist that stands out. And so if you look at people who have been part of the music scene, but you don't really know how much a part. So you take people like Peter Frampton, for example, the lead guitarist of Led Zeppelin, people who played...
I'm sorry, are you saying Peter Frampton was the lead guitarist?
Jimmy Page.
Okay, just making sure.
People like Frampton and Page who are playing in bands back in the 60s, before they decided to go out and do their own thing.
Yeah.
There are many, many artists you don't know the names of. Session guitarists, session drummers, session pianists have an amazing effect. When we watched the dedication to Led Zeppelin, who do we see on the stage? It's not Zeppelin, and it's professional musicians, who were taught to play music properly.
Yes.
If you look at Jimmy Page, he
God.
didn't start with Led Zeppelin.
He was a studio musician.
He was a studio musician
Very
with all
respected.
sorts of different bands.
Yeah.
Rolling
Are you going
Stones,
to Rats
The
again
Who.
somewhere?
Yep, I'll be getting there.
Okay.
But what do all these people, what's common amongst them now? They're all multi-millionaires. They live in fucking great houses. We call them mansions. And what live in mansions?
Rats.
Oh, no.
Rats.
Damn, Jeremy.
No.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't actually believe you were going to
But
do
another thing that rats like is food. And Christmas and the holidays coming up we're all getting fat. Do you notice that you put on an extra 10 pounds over
Maybe
Christmas?
we should
Why
take a
is
break so
this?
that I could eat a little bit before we talk about this.
Well, I'm just wondering, vegans. Well, enough said. What's the difference between a vegan and a Bulgarian? What I'm getting at is a Bulgarian vegetarian a Bulgarian?
I don't know.
Evo, are you vegan or
No,
okay?
no. I in fact, I eat eggs.
Dead chickens.
Milk,
Baby
cheese.
chickens. You eat baby chickens?
They're not
Yes,
baby chickens.
chicken embryos.
They don't have
That's
faces yet.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Bulgarians eat chicken embryos. Oh, that's gross.
there was actually a British show that I watched this summer where this British guy, it was a reality show. He traveled to different places around the world. He was a very funny guy. Maybe you've seen it, Louis. You'll probably help me. But he traveled to China, and in China, they actually eat... You've seen this episode, right?
I
Chicken
have.
embryos.
I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking
You
about.
open the
yes.
egg, and there's the chicken, like,
fermented.
semi-developed.
It's
Southeast
fermented,
Asia all over, yeah.
Uh-huh. What
Which
is that
disgusting.
Gross.
called? Yes,
Gross.
it is. I call it gross.
Yeah.
But it is basically the egg of a duck that
Yeah.
has been the duck has been partially gestated, and then they pickle the egg.
Got to be exactly the right time.
Yes, and so
Then they can eat the whole thing, and it's still
eat the whole
soft.
thing with the yolk and the feathers and the bone and all of it. And it's got a name, and it's actually a popular dish, but I
Can't
can't
be
think of what
worse
it's called.
than like beef jerky.
Let me think. Vomit.
Yeah, yeah. Vegans are those that do not eat anything that, like, no cheese, no milk, no animal products whatsoever, right? No eggs,
Vegetable products.
only vegetable.
Why
products.
wouldn't they drink milk, for instance? Because cows will die if they're not milked. They
It's
will
still
die.
it's a byproduct of an animal, and they have an ethical compulsion to avoid animal products.
That's a good explanation. Although we are created to be predators. And
All right. Well,
they're-
look. This is. I'm supposed to host this podcast. I have a question.
Yeah.
A deep, meaningful question, which I would like an answer to. Why
Doesn't
is
have
it,
to do with rats, does it?
No. Why does my wife and dog eat my food, but not the cat? I've often wondered this. Why is it that my wife says she doesn't want anything, and I order chips or fries, as you Americans say, and
We say it
she
the
eats
right
my
way.
fries?
Yeah.
The dog eats my fries. The cat, on the other hand, doesn't go anywhere near my fries.
That
Why
cat-
is this?
The cat is waiting for you to die so he can eat you.
Judging by the looks of your
Baloots,
cat,
that's the name of it. Thank you,
it
Neil.
eats everything. Yeah, your
Yeah.
cat eats everything. Late at night, wakes up, opens the fridge, eats absolutely everything. Have you seen his cat? This is the biggest cat I've ever seen in my life.
We're feeding
It's
him up.
unbelievable.
No, but
Yeah,
why
he
is
does.
it?
This
Yeah.
cat
Why
has
do
its own
people-
gravity.
Why do, yeah.
Jesus.
he has moons around. You know, why is it though that when one's you order a perfectly decent meal, and your wife says, "Oh no, I don't want anything. I'm on a diet," and then she eats your food.
Well,
It doesn't
diets
count.
are necessary. Yes, right. There's
It
no
doesn't count
calories if it
it's
comes from
not-
somebody
yeah,
else.
exactly.
But we all are eating too much. I mean, and I'm just trying to save you from yourself,
I have
Jeremy.
another question, meaningful.
That's
Really?
magnanimous.
I know.
We're just not moving.
A deep, meaningful question. When I order my salad here at Conroy's, and hopefully it's been washed and clean, why do they put stale bread on the top of it?
It's
The
called
croutons, you
I'll
mean?
be damned if I know why. That's
I've
the
often
weirdest
wondered
thing.
that.
People like crunchy. Crunchy sells salads.
and
Salads and bland.
carbohydrate.
Yeah, and
It's
the
a bit like an
carbohydrate.
armadillo, isn't it? Crunchy on the outside, soft on the in.
Yeah.
They're
well,
not
you know
soft
what?
on the inside, but other than that, yeah.
Okay, now I'm truly disturbed by you, Mr.
Yeah.
Taylor.
You eat armadillos. You know that the armadillos are
Deep
basic.
fried armadillo. Lovely, jubbly.
You know, you should be very,
Very
careful
tasty.
because the only cases of leprosy in the United States are caused by people consuming armadillos as
Sorry,
roadkill.
what's that?
Armadillos are immune
He's
to
missing some
leprosy.
fingers, you
They
noticed
can
that?
carry leprosy, but they don't die from it. And
People don't die from
Sorry,
leprosy.
I got it.
leprosy has
I
been
just
eradicated, but you can get leprosy from eating armadillo because
I
they're carriers of leprosy.
have to jump in right now. Sorry to interrupt. How the hell
Thank you for
do
doing
you
that.
come across the factoid that armadillos?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that are so
Well, you
Are you
know that if
reading?
you live in Europe or England,
we don't,
you
we,
know that.
we don't have
I mean,
armadillos
you
in
don't
Europe.
want armadillos coming down from Scotland. My God. It's like, what happens if you... Well, you wouldn't know what happens if you happen to come across a haggis in the middle of the night on the motorway. I
You
mean,
know
it's
why
very
they die
evil.
on the road so much, the
No.
armadillos? If they have a bizarre reflex when they get startled. Believe it or not, they jump vertically like a basketball player off of 4 feet if they get startled. So as they cross the road, if they get startled by the coming car, they jump and get smashed into the bumper.
I want to see basketball players being trained to jump like an armadillo.
Yeah,
I
that would be
want to
great.
raise an army of armadillos so that I can walk around and scare them all today, just
Wouldn't
to
that
see
be
them jumping
fun?
up and down.
It is kind of funny, but
You
if
play
they didn't
whack-a-mole
have this
with
reflex, a
armadillos.
lot of them would survive because the car would just glide on top of them without destroying them. But when they see the car, in the last second, they jump up and they get smashed and destroyed. So,
It's
interesting
very
animal.
sad, isn't it?
Well, I'm
I'm just
wondering
crying
now.
crocodile
Do you
tears.
think maybe they think that the car is a jump ball?
A jump ball? Yeah, maybe they just go for the jump ball.
Just
It's
so
50-50
just
ball.
go round, if we just go round the table here, how
can't, it's a square table.
many meals and snacks do you eat in a normal day? Now, so how many proper meals do you have?
3.
3. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And how many snackettes do you have?
When I am being good, meaning I'm trying to monitor what I eat, 2. When I don't give a rat's ass, 12.
Back to rats again, you see.
But,
Kathleen Taylor, how many meals do you have?
I have 3 meals
So
what about
lunch,
snacks?
dinner,
and breakfast, yes, and snacks whenever and wherever they appear.
Yeah. I eat only late at night, so I eat one time. And in the morning, I recently started having yogurt, a little bit of yogurt in the morning, and a hot tea. I used to drink a lot of coffee, now it's all hot tea. Then I get carried away with work and I don't eat the entire day. And then I have some very, very unhealthy snacks. Maybe during the day I have some chips, some chocolate. And late at night, I eat crap like French fries or chips or
not
occasionally...
dissimilar to, in fact, the basket of chips that you have in front of you.
Yes,
So
exactly.
much for vegetarians
So-
eating a healthier diet.
Yeah, so occasion and chocolate and absolutely everything that's really unhealthy and bad for me. And it's a miracle I'm still alive. I have no idea how I'm living. On a cellular level, I should
You
be,
actually
I should
don't
have
look too bad
disintegrated.
for an 80-year-old.
Yeah, a long time ago. And so, you know, if I was eating meat, I would probably be 755 pounds by now.
Now, it's interesting you say this, that, you know, you might in fact be 700 years old because there's a story going around right now, a serious story, that in fact,
Yeah.
you may not know this,
This
but
is
I
not
tell you
your serious voice.
This is a serious
It's got to do
story.
with
This is a
rats.
story you should know. Vladimir Putin is very likely a vampire. And we can prove it. Because there are photographs of Vladimir Putin as a soldier in the First World War. There's no doubt it's him. Then there is a photograph of Vladimir Putin as a soldier in the Second War.
I've
And
seen
then
him
there is a picture of Vladimir
with a Putin
Putin.
face on Napoleon.
And so, clearly, vampires, when they get very hungry, will eat rats. But
There it is.
But there we go, is Vladimir Putin. And this is as we slide into things Russian here on our podcast,
That's what she said.
Undressed from Conroy's. We have slid all the way around to
That's what she said.
the Russians. Oh, yes. Is
not
Vladimir
gonna do that,
Putin a
are we?
vampire?
Vladimir is a great vampire name, by the way. If he's not vampire, he should immediately become one because Vladimir is the best name for a vampire. It's just beautiful.
It is.
Vladimir.
Well,
Vladimir.
Vlad, he was, in fact,
Yes,
Vlad the Impaler,
exactly,
is when he
exactly.
started it all. And, you know, I don't know whether you know this, but he is, in fact, going to Syria, and he's going to be impaling ISIS people.
By the
And
way,
do we object to that? Do we object to ISIS fighters impaled by the Russians? That's what I want to know. Do we object?
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah,
Interesting-
Vlad the Impaler. What do you
interesting
think?
concept. Yeah, I don't condone any impaling. Well, I know what you're going to say.
That's
but,
what. Yeah.
But Vladimir, do you know what Vladimir
I
means?
love a nice impaling on a Saturday morning, eh?
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Yeah.
Vladimir is very interesting. I'm surprised that people don't bring that up more often.
But he's an impaler.
No, Vladimir means ruler of the earth, of the world, the entire world. That's literally the meaning of the Latin
I am
name
convinced
Vladimir.
he is attempting to establish a connection between him and the last Tsar of Russia and is intending to become the new Tsar.
New ruler
Yeah.
of the universe, Vladimir.
Seriously.
Vladimir Putin.
Well, they really are. In the media today, I've been looking at photographs of Vladimir Putin as a young man, and then a slightly older young man, and then a medium-aged man.
And he looks the same.
And he looks exactly the same. It is quite bizarre, let me tell you, ladies and
Amazing what all the money you
Oh,
can
I smell a rat.
spend
gentlemen.
on.
I do. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for listening. Would eating local save the planet? Is a question that we got asked. Would eating local save the planet? I think it's a very simple answer to that. No.
That's all you're going to spend on that subject.
Well, I have questions. For instance,
Yeah, well, you come
What?
from East St. Louis, so I mean,
Right.
you're permanently hungry.
no. That's where my questions are eventually going to go.
It's
What
like you were
does
brought up
eating
during the
local-
Second World War under, where you didn't have any food.
Well,
You can throw
not
something at him
quite-
if you want.
There's nothing heavy enough here. What does eating a local mean?
Eating a local?
Yes,
Not
eating
a
a local.
Eating a local is very much
Because there's
zombie
a few
apocalypse.
people in the bar right now. So there's.
What's your definition?
Everybody say, yeah. What's the definition of eating local? Like, what does that mean? If I am in
means
my
you're going to get
hometown,
arrested
East St. Louis.
if you eat a local.
Yeah. If I'm in my hometown, East St. Louis, and I am eating food that was raised 50 miles away, does that still constitute
That
eating
apparently, I think 50 miles is the
50
generally
miles is
accepted.
the cutoff. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not sure about that. Haven't gone into it. But the concept is eating things that are close enough to where you live that they haven't had a lot of resources spent on moving them.
Okay, so if I live in Wichita, that means I
That's
can...
all right. You can eat Wichita Aryans.
Okay.
No one's going to care.
That means I can then
It's
eat a-
Wichitans, isn't it?
You have to eat Wichita bananas, Wichita pineapples.
Yeah.
Well, not just that. I'm just talking. I'm
Witchy
thinking
burgers.
I would have a diet that is 100% beef
Yeah.
because of the cattle farms.
You could probably
that are-
also eat soybeans.
and soybeans too.
Yeah.
Some vegetables.
I'm not sure that eating local
It's not sustainable. It's
is
impossible.
sustainable in mass quantities. I think it would definitely help. I think that our food would taste better. The food that I think that if we had a
All right. Let's change the definition of eating local. We're going to change the definition of eating local to not going out to any restaurant that's more than 10 miles away. How's
Now,
that?
you've changed the whole tenor of the conversation from eating local to eating local. And it's very different, isn't it? It's like
I don't
peasants
think we're
and
going to pay
peasants.
any serious attention to this
Eating
subject
local
somehow.
is very limiting to the dating pool for lesbian community.
It is. You're quite right. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Hey, it depends. If
It's what
you
you call
live,
lickety spit.
well, if you live in Tokyo, what does eating local mean? You will die from starvation, right? If you live in New York City, you live in a giant city. There's not going to be any kind of farms in the desired radius.
But I think
So-
that there would be lots of little small plots that would become a lot
All
more.
of New York City could live on cherry tomatoes. Because that's
And
about the only
rats.
thing you can. and
Lesbians
rats.
like
And
cherry
rats.
tomatoes.
Giant,
Giant,
juicy,
Juicy
beautiful
rats.
rats.
Are we like
New York rats.
rat on a stick?
No,
Ratatouille.
I mean, there's a couple of things that I've seen on TED Talks and YouTube and Reddit, things like that, of people that are developing
Rat
urban
it.
farms.
On skyscrapers.
On skyscrapers, basically hydroponics on steroids. No
Yeah.
pun intended. So I think that there would be lots of hydroponic / agrarian
Vertical farms.
farms. Yeah, I think that those things would we would have.
We have no choice.
Well, it's not that we would have a choice. I think that there would be an incentive to do a lot more of that than what we have right now. I'm still not sure that cuts into the amount of chickens that we have to raise in a factory
Yeah.
to supply
I mean,
the
just
demand.
think, to make a couple of loaves of bread, you're going to have to cut down the whole rooftop. Wheat.
Oh yeah. No, that,
I mean,
yeah.
that's not going to last long. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Wednesday Night Undressed from Conroy's Emporium. Conroy has been monitoring this program coming to you, and I can tell you that, in fact, he did wash his hands earlier on, and he has been providing us with the most amazing food from the Emporium. So we will be with you next time.